So start now.
Yes.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we will continue our class, the story Wonder. We stopped yesterday here in this paragraph, and we stopped at page 24. So, who wants to read?
Can I read?
Yes, go ahead.
So said Mr. Tashmil, putting his hands together in a kind of slow clap. What I thought you guys could do is take August on a little tour of the school. Maybe you could start on the third floor. That's where your homeroom class is going to be. Room 301.
Yahya,
Yes.
read again. Your voice cut out.
Room 301. I think Mrs. G is room
So I told
301. Mrs. Garcia
Marcus to join. He's joining.
called out
So,
from the other room.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Room 301, Mr. Fishman nodded, and then you can show August the science labs and the computer room. Then work your way down to the library and the performance space on the second floor. Take him to the cafeteria, of course. Should we take him to the music room? Yes, said Mr. Tashman. August, do you play any instrument? No, I said. It wasn't my favorite subject on account of the fact that I don't really have ears. Well, I do, but they don't exactly look like normal ears. Well, you may enjoy seeing the music room anyway, said Mr. Tashman. We have a very nice selection of precious instruments. August, you've been wanting to learn to play the drums, Mom said, trying to get me to look at her. But my eyes were covered by the bangs, and I stared at a piece of old gum that was stuck to the bottom of Mr. Tishman's desk. Great, okay. So why don't you get going, said Mr. Tishman. Just be back here, and he looked at Mom. Half an hour, okay? I think Mom nodded. So is that okay with you, August? He asked me. I didn't answer. Is that okay, August? Mom repeated. I look at her now. I want her to see how mad I was at her. But then I saw her face and just nodded. She seemed more scared than I was. The other kids had had stared out the door, so I followed them. See you soon, said Mom. Her voice sounded a little higher than normal. I didn't answer her.
So I think in these lines, August is mad at his mom. Can anyone remember me why he's mad?
Yes, because her mom didn't tell him anything about the tour.
Yes,
So
she told him we're going to see Mr. Tushman. The Grand Tour. Who wants to read?
Can I read?
Yes.
The Grand Tour, Jack, Will, Julian, Charlotte, and I went down a big hallway to some wide stairs. No one said a word as we walked up to the third floor. When we got to the top of the stairs, we went down a little hallway full of lots of doors. Julian opened the door marked 301. This is our homeroom, he said, standing in front of the half-open door. We have Mr. Pitosa, they say. She's okay, at least for homeroom. I heard she's really strict if you get her for math, though. That's not true, said Charlotte. My sister had her last year and said she's totally nice. Not what I heard, answered Julian. But whatever. He closed the door and continued walking down the hallway. This is the science lab, he said.
Wait. Whoever's playing the music, please shut it down. Okay, continue. Okay, Jibril.
This is the science lab, he said when he got to the next door. And just like he did 2 seconds ago, he stood in front of the half-open door and started talking. He didn't look at me once while he talked, which was okay because I wasn't looking at him either. You won't know who you have for science until the first day of school, but you want to get Mr. Haller. He used to be in the lower school. He would play this giant tuba in class. It was baritone horn. Baritone horn. It was a tuba, answered Julian, closing the door. Dude, let him go inside so he can check it out, Jack Will told, pushing past Julian and opening the door. Go inside if you want, Julian said. It was the first time he looked at me. I shrugged and walked over to the door. Julian moved out of the way quickly, like he was afraid I might accidentally touch him as I passed by him. Nothing much to see, Julian said, walking in after me. He started pointing to a bunch of stuff around the room. That's the incubator. That big black thing is a chalkboard. These are the desks. These are chairs. Those are the Bunsen burners. This is a gross science poster. This is chalk. This is an eraser. I'm sure he knows what an eraser is, Charlotte said, sounding little like Via. How would I know what he knows? Julian answered. Mr. Tushman said he's never been to a school before. You know what an eraser is, right? Charlotte asked. I admit I was feeling so nervous that I didn't know what to say or do except look at the floor. Hey, can you talk? Asked Jackwell. Yeah, I nodded. I still really hadn't looked at any of them yet. Not directly, you know. What an eraser is, right? You know what an eraser is, right? Asked Jackwell. Of course, I mumbled. I told you there was nothing to see in here, said Julian, shrugging. I have a question, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. What exactly is homeroom? Is that like a subject? No, that's just your group, explained Charlotte, ignoring Julian's smirk. It's like where you go when you get to school in the morning and your homeroom teacher takes attendance and stuff like that. In a way, that's your main class, even though it's not really a class. I mean, it's a class, but I think he gets it, Charlotte said Jacqueline. Do you get it? Charlotte asked him. Yeah, I nodded at her. Okay, let's get out of here, said Jacqueline, walking away. Wait, Jack, we're supposed to be answering questions, said Charlotte. Jack rolled his eyes a little as he turned around. Do you have any more questions? He asked. No, I answered. Oh, well, actually, yes. Is your name Jack or Jack Will? Jack is my first name, Will is my last name. Oh, because Mr. Tushman introduced you as Jack Will, so I thought. Ha, you thought his name was Jack Will, laughed Juliet. Yeah, some people call me by my first and last name, Jack said, smiling. I don't know why anyone can we, I don't know why. Anyway, can we go now? Let's go to the performance space next, said Charlotte, leading the way out of the science room. It's very cool. You'll like it, August.
So these lines, they were taking him around a tour of the school. He seemed really nervous. He wasn't making eye contact, and he was talking. While he was talking, he was mumbling. So he wasn't talking like normal talk. He was kind of nervous, and the kids tried to answer his questions. He only had one question, so they answered it, and he looked at the floor. He didn't make eye contact except once. The performance space. I'll read this one.
Yeah, Muhammad, excuse me.
Yes.
We have Mu'taz with us now. In case you
Mu'taz
don't
is
know.
here.
Yeah. And there is one more thing I want to add here to what you have kindly said about the
Yes, go ahead.
characters, because we have been introduced to these how many characters? Three
Three.
characters: Julian,
Jack
Julian,
Will.
Jack, and
Aziz.
Charlotte. And
Yes.
I have learned so far that it's Julian who is a guy with an attitude. Am I
Yes,
right?
and Jack
Yeah.
Will.
And
Jack Will
is takes the initiative,
like,
and he
yeah,
is a kind of
kind of the
good
leader.
guy. Yeah. Good afternoon, Aziz. King Aziz is here. I bet you thought we were meeting at 5 because I think you left before we said that we're gonna meet at 4 and then we're gonna decide today. Right? Aziz?
What?
I don't know, because Aziz might have got things confused because we said we're gonna meet at 5 and then we said, okay, let's meet at 4 and then decide today. It's okay. So I think Julian is a guy with an attitude. Charlotte is a kind of outgoing
No, Mr.
girl.
Actually, it's the opposite. Jack Will is the one with the attitude because when he said he said he was supposed to answer questions,
Julian who's
he
described. Look here, for
Jack
example.
Will rolled his eyes a little and he turned around.
Yeah, but he took the initiative and talked to and he invited Ogie inside the room. You see, but if you look at Julian here, he
making fun of him.
Yeah, and trying to take advantage of the fact that he has never been to school before. You see what I mean? I don't know. And look at here, Julian smirk here in the second paragraph. That's just your
It's
group
like the
explain
bully.
Charlotte before ignoring Julian smirk. You know what a smirk is? Can you tell us what a smirk is?
Smirk is like a tiny smile.
Yeah, but what kind of smile?
It's evil smile.
Is it an innocent one?
No.
Not at all.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's known by someone else. Okay. So I don't know. So Muhammad,
And
if you have
Charlotte
another
is
idea,
nice.
Yeah, she is nice. Yeah, because she also takes the initiative and understands the condition in which Augie in. You see, but I wonder why did Julian want to keep what's his name, Augie, outside the room?
I don't know.
He was bored.
Okay, so
He wanted to get out.
All right.
Okay, Mu'taz, are you with us?
Yes.
Can you use your microphone, Mu'taz?
Yeah, Mr. He was talking.
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you. Okay, sorry. I thought you can't use your microphone.
Can you read, Mu'taz?
Aziz, where is Aziz? Yeah, he's here.
Mu'taz.
Yes. Charlotte.
Read the title first.
It's covering. Yes. The performance space.
Where is Yahya?
Charlotte basically.
I think Yahya dropped out.
Yes, because sometimes in the middle of class, sometimes he.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Okay, continue. Sorry to interrupt.
Charlotte basically didn't stop talking as we headed down to the second floor. She was describing the play they had put on the last year, which was Oliver. She played Oliver even though she is a girl. As she said this, she pushed open the double doors to a huge auditorium. At the end of the room was a stage. Charlotte started skipping toward the stage. Julian ran after her and then turned around halfway down the انزل.
I
Come on, he said loudly, waving for me to follow him, which I did. There were like hundreds of people in the audience that night, said Charlotte, and it took me a second to realize he was still talking about Oliver. I was so nervous. I had so many lines, and I had all these songs to sing. It was so hard. Although she was talking to me, she really didn't look at me much. On opening night, my parents were all the way in the back of the auditorium, like where Jack is right now. But when the lights are off, you can't really see that far back. So I was like, where are my parents? Where are my parents? And then Mr. Resnick, our, the- our theater arts teacher last year, he said, Charlotte, stop being such a diva. And I was like, okay. And then I spotted my parents and I was totally fine. I didn't forget a single line. While she was talking,
So
I
it's as
noticed.
sorry, Marcus, to stop you. As we expected, you see, she's a sociable person. She's an outgoing, and
yeah,
she
she's like
starts
the
to
talks.
chat up with and tell her about her anecdote, a personal anecdote. You see what I mean? So
Yeah.
because do you remember when we talked about characters and how we learn about characters
I
from
think
what they say?
character traits
Very good. How do we know about the character traits?
from the
their,
text.
From from the narrator's description, from other characters' ideas about these characters or description also, and from what
From
the
their
characters
action.
do and what the characters say. You see what I mean? So
Yes.
yes, very good.
While she was talking, I noticed Julian staring at me out of the corner of his eye. This is something I see people do a lot of with me. They think I don't know they are sharing, but I can tell from the way their heads are tilted. I turned around to see where Jack had gone to. He had stayed in the back of the auditorium like he was bored. We put on a play every year, said Charlotte. I don't think he's going to want to be in the school play, Charlotte said. Julian sarcastically.
Yeah, see, he's being sarcastic now. That's what I'm
Yes.
talking about. Yeah.
You can be in the play without actually being in the play, Charlotte answered, looking at me. You can do the lighting, you can paint the backdrops. Oh yeah, whoopee, said Julian, twirling his finger in the air. But you don't have to theater art selective if you don't want to, Charlotte said, shrugging. There's dance or chorus or band, there's leadership. Only dorks take leadership, Julian interrupted. Julian, you're so obnoxious, said Charlotte, which made Julian laugh. I'm taking the science elective, I said. Cool, said Charlotte. Julian looked directly at me, saying, supposedly the hardest elective of all. He said, no offense. But if you have never ever
If you've never
been in a school before, why do you think you're suddenly going to be smart enough to take the science elective? I mean, have you ever studied science before, like real science, not like kind you do in kids? Yeah, I know that.
Sorry, before we leave this page, lads, Muhammad, any idea what an elective subject is? If a subject is
elective,
what does it mean?
yeah, I think an elective is like there's like competition on this. I'll search it up.
Yeah, please.
Elective. Where's elective?
Is it something like you can choose whether to take it or not? Or to take extra classes, or you can choose whether to take extra classes? Was it Muhammad Jibreen?
I think it's like the election of
No, elect, I think it's kind of choose or pick.
Yes, they elect.
Elective, related to or working means of election.
Yes,
So I think he's like
same
gonna
thing.
be
That they
what's an elective subject also
No,
referred
but this
to.
is not. Yeah. That's is. But this is not the meaning here, Muhammad. We want the other
You
one.
have a
elective subject.
choice as to which elective subject you can study. If
Yeah.
your course requires completion of elective subjects as a list of options, you'll be rewarded. No, you will be available in your study plan.
So
So I think it's like
I understand.
study
Can you
something.
zoom in a bit, Muhammad, to the definition, please?
Yeah, okay.
I think it's a subject that you can study, like do extra studies, and then you can be rewarded for doing that. Like take extra hours studying it, and you will be rewarded like a bonus subject or bonus class
Here,
or something like that.
chosen by the student rather than compulsory.
Yeah,
So it's
So-
like, I think extra classes or something like
Yeah.
that.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. Here. Okay, Mu'taz, continue.
He was homeschooled, Julian said Charlotte. So teachers came to his house, asked Julian, looking puzzled. No, his mother taught him, answered Julian. Is she a teacher? Julian said. Is your mother a teacher? Charlotte asked me. No, I said. So she's not a real teacher, said Julian, as if that proved his point. That's what I mean. How can someone who's not a real teacher actually teach science? I'm sure you'll do fine, said Charlotte, looking at me. Let's go to the library now, Jack called out, sounding really bored. Why is your hair so long? Julian said to me. He sounded like he was annoyed. I didn't know what to say, so I just shrugged. Can I ask a question? He said. I shrugged again. Didn't he just ask me a question? What's the deal with your face? I mean, were you in a fire or something? Julian, that's rude, said Charlotte. I'm not being rude, said Julian. I'm just asking a question. Mr. Tashman said we could ask a question if we wanted to. Not rude questions like that, said Charlotte. Besides, he was born like that. That's what Mr. Tashman said. You just weren't listening. I was listening, said Julian. I just thought maybe he was in a fire too. Jeez, Julian said. Jack, just shut up. You shut up, Julian yelled. Come on, August, said Jack. Let's just go to the library already. I walked toward Jack and followed him out of the auditorium. He held the double doors open for me, and as I passed by, he looked at me right in the face, kind of daring me to look back at him, which I did. Then I actually smiled. I don't know. Sometimes when I have a feeling like I'm almost crying, it can turn into almost laughing feeling, and that that must have been the feeling I was having then, because I smiled, almost like I was going to giggle. The thing is, because of the way my face is, people who don't know me very well don't always get that I'm smiling. My mouth doesn't go up at the corners the way other people's mouths do. It just goes straight across my face. But somehow Jack Will got that I had smiled at him, and he smiled back. Julian's Julian's a jerk, he whispered before
So
Julian and
here,
Charlotte
sorry, Mataz. This is like a hint that both Jack and
We'll be
Augie,
friends.
yeah, because they understand each other. Because the only one who noticed that Augie is smiling is Jack.
Julian,
Because-
Jack.
Yeah, because actually Augie's face, according to him, doesn't show whether he's smiling or not.
Yes,
there
he
is a
said
kind-
only people who know me well.
Yeah, there is a kind of chemistry between both boys. See what I mean? This is
Okay.
called the foreshadowing, when the author hints at what's going to happen next. You see what I mean, boys? So this is a
Yes.
kind of hint that they are going to be friends. And there is also a kind of hint that that guy Julian is a guy with an attitude. He's a kind of
Yes.
show off.
He's a bully.
Yeah, he's full of himself. Yeah, he's a bully. Yeah, that's a good word. Okay.
Mu'taz.
Yes, Julian's a jerk. He whispered before Julian and Charlotte reached us. But dude, you're gonna have to talk. He said this seriously, like he was trying to help me. I nodded as Julian and Charlotte caught up to us. We were all quiet for a second, all of us just kind of nothing, looking at the floor. Then I looked up at Julian. The word supposedly, by the way, I said, what are you talking about? You said supposedly. Before. I said, I did not. Yeah, you did. Charlotte nodded. You said the science elective is supposedly really hard. I heard you. I absolutely did not, he insisted. Whatever, said Jack. Let's go. Yeah, let's just go, agreed Charlotte. Following Jack down the stairs to the next floor, I started to follow her, but Julian cut right in front of me, which actually made me stumble backward. Oops, sorry about that, said Julian. But I could tell from the way he looked at me that he wasn't really sorry at all.
Okay, from that page you just read, we can understand. We got introduced to three characters: Charlotte, Jack, Will, and Julian. So we can understand that Jack Will is kind of the nice guy, and he's I think, like Mr. Omar said, they're gonna be friends. And Charlotte is kind of the nice girl, and Julian is kind of the bully because he can't, like he said here. He said, I absolutely did not. So he said supposedly, but he said no because he can't admit he said something wrong. I think, I don't know. Okay. The deal.
Class finished.
The class finished.
We can stay for a couple of minutes more so that we can give Aziz a chance to read. Is he leaving?
I think he's leaving.
Class
Have you left, Aziz?
finished. Not leaving.
Pardon me, I don't hear you.
I'm saying the class has finished for 2 minutes.
Oh, we can stay for a couple of minutes more, Aziz, so that you can read, so that everybody has a chance to read. How come you are the king and you don't read?
Can go.
Okay. Yes, King Abdulaziz. Can you read for us?
Okay, only this.
Yeah, only a couple of minutes. See, the king is giving us like kind of, how do you say it, Muhammad? What's makrama in English?
Maqama?
Makrama.
Kindness, I don't know.
Kind of.
Mr. Tushman were talking when we got back.
Speak up, please.
Mom and Mr. Tushman were talking when we got back to the office. Mr. Garcia was the first to see us come back, and she started smiling her shiny smile as we walked in. So, August, when did you
Sorry,
think?
Aziz, to stop you. Now you remember, boys, the word shiny in Augie's vocabulary means that smile that's
it's fake.
You remember? Yeah, a smile that's
a fake smile.
Yeah, very good.
Did you like what you saw? She asked. Yeah, I nodded, looking over at Mom. Jack, Julian, and Charlotte were standing by the door, not sure where to go or if they were still needed. I wondered what else they had been told about me before they'd met me. Did you see the baby chick? Mom asked me. As I shook my head, Julian said, are you talking about the baby chicks in science? Those got donated to a farm at the end of every school year. Oh, said Mom, disappointed. But they hatch new ones every year in science. Julian added, so August, will we be able to see them again in the spring? Oh God, said Mom, eyeing me. They were so cute, August. I wish she wouldn't talk to me like I was baby in front of other people.
Now, you see?
So,
Yeah.
So sensitive.
said Mr. Tishman, did these guys show you around enough, or do you want to see more? I realized I forgot to ask them to show you the gym. We did anyway, Mr. Tishman said Julian. Excellent, said Mr. Tishman. And they told him about the school play and some of the electives, said Charlotte. Oh no, she said suddenly, we forgot to show him the art room. That okay, said Mr. Tishman. But we can't show it to him now. Charlotte offered. Don't we have to be up soon? I said to Mom. Master, now is the Arabic class.
Okay, guys, so I'm gonna have to leave it here. So